Beware of anyone who says that they are an expert or specialize in a particular field of law. There are specific rules about when that language can and can't be used, and understand that the Illinois Supreme Court does not recognize certifications of specialties in the practice of law, and that any certificate, award, or recognition is not a requirement to practice law in Illinois. Stay away from anyone who promises or guarantees a specific result. I'm often asked by prospective clients, if I pay you, what specific result can you guarantee me? And the answer is none. The only thing that I can guarantee you by my code of ethics, by law, is that I will do my very best to obtain the best possible result. There are too many possibilities in any given case that you or your lawyer simply can't predict without a thorough examination of all of the facts and all of the law over time. For instance, let's talk about the realm of surgery and doctors again. Would you go through a surgery and trust the opinion of a doctor who told you that you will recover 100% and have no complications, and that you will live to be 100 years of age without any problems, just after a phone call and maybe a brief office visit? No, of course not. The same logic applies to attorneys. You should be very wary of anybody who promises you a specific result or specific outcome after a phone call and maybe an office visit. A legal case requires a thorough examination of all of the facts and all of the law over time, and this simply takes time, period. A good, honest attorney may be able to talk to you in terms of expectations as far as handling similar cases before and obtaining certain types of results in similar cases, or what might be a common result in a particular jurisdiction for a particular type of case. Maybe an attorney can talk to you in terms of percentages and tell you 50% of the time I'm able to obtain result A, 50% of the time the cases wind up with result B. Any other specific promises than that in the early phases of handling a case, you should be very wary of. Don't go cheap. Avoid what looks to be a bargain basement price or what sounds too good to be true. That may actually be the case. It probably is too good to be true. Oftentimes, you will not get the full representation you expect or that your case calls for. And you may even find out later that you're going to wind up having to actually pay more money or wind up having to hire somebody else to come in and repair some damage that was done. Also consider that those who are charging less usually have to take on more and more cases to make up for the fact that less money is being taken in per case. In this scenario, or imagine a scenario, if attorney A is charging you $1,000, let's say, for a particular type of case, but he has 50 active client files at any given time. You go to attorney B who quotes you a $500 price, and that sounds great, but you learn that attorney B has 100 active client files. In which of those scenarios do you think your case is going to get the attention it deserves? If you approach me to take on a case and find that my fees are a little higher than others, we can work out a payment arrangement to fit your particular financial situation. Make sure you know which particular attorney is going to be the one handling your case and making decisions on your case. Beware of any situation where the attorney you are sold on is not the one that winds up actually handling your case, but instead sends the fresh out of law school young rookie. Don't misunderstand me. There are many wonderful new experienced attorneys who do good work and have the makings to be a great attorney one day. But you should know from the very beginning exactly who is going to be handling your case and what this person's credentials are. If you hired 20 years experienced, 100 surgeries performed, expert Dr. A to do your surgery. But then you show up on the day of your surgery and you realize Dr. A isn't there, but instead has sent in young, fresh out of medical school, only assisted Dr. A a few times before Dr. B to perform the surgery. Would you go through with it? Of course not, and you shouldn't. The same logic applies to the practice of law. Make sure if you are hiring a particular attorney that that is the one that's going to be handling your case, or if somebody else is, that has been thoroughly explained to you from the beginning. Avoid attorneys who disparage other attorneys. Unfortunately, I have come to learn in my experience that there are some attorneys out there who do feel it necessary to insult and talk down their competition, other practicing attorneys, to try to convince clients to hire them as opposed to their competition. First of all, oftentimes such disparaging statements are untrue and may be unethical and even illegal. If someone is so desperate that they must talk down other attorneys, possibly violating our code of ethics, possibly violating the law, then they must not have enough reputation or accomplishments or confidence to rest solely on their good qualities. They probably are too desperate to get the next client's money in the door. You should probably steer clear of that situation. You will never hear me disparage any other attorney in any fashion whatsoever. I don't have to. My record and my reputation speak for themselves. There are plenty of other good attorneys out there, and their records and their reputations speak for themselves as well, and they don't have to disparage other attorneys. As a matter of fact, if it seems for some reason that a prospective client and I aren't a perfect fit, I will refer that client out to other good, experienced attorneys and give the client those attorneys' contact information to consider.